Hi, let's take a closer look at the concept of fixtures as real property. Real property is land and improvements on the land and the legal bundle of rights of ownership. It is necessary to be able to identify what is real property and what is personal property when facilitating the sale of real estate. Real property rights are different from personal property rights. It has been explained that real property is land, improvements on the land, and rights of use. This contrasts with personal property, which consists of items having a limited life and that it's movable from one place to another. These rights consist of the rights of use, possession, enjoyment, disposition, exclusion, or the right not to exercise any of these rights regarding real estate. Real property does not include any cemetery lots, nor the renting of a mobile home lot or recreational vehicle lot in a mobile home park or travel park, unless you specifically own the land. Personal property consists of items having a limited life, which are easily movable from one place to another. Personal property is also called chattel or personalty and includes any property that is not real property. Ownership of personal property follows different rules than ownership of real property. Personal property is a type of property which, in its most general definition, can include any asset other than real estate. The distinguishing factor between personal property and real estate is that personal property is movable. That is, the asset is not fixed permanently to one location, as with real property, such as land or buildings. An example of personal property would be a reading chair placed in a living room. However, a window seat permanently built under a window as a reading nook is an example of real property. Attachment and severance. The window seat became real property through the act of attachment. The opposite can also happen in that real property can become personal property by the act of severance. The dividing line between personal rights and property rights is not always easy to draw. As a real estate licensee, it is important to use detailed purchase agreements that clearly define what stays and what does not stay in a real estate transaction. Otherwise, the buyer and seller may not just find fault with each other, but fault with the licensee, even filing suit in court. Dealings between tenants and landlords can also result in questions about ownership. Definition review. Severance. Real property becomes personal property by act of severance. Attachment. Personal property becomes real property by attachment. Instructor comment. What goes with the property? As a real estate licensee, it is important not to have buyers and sellers fighting about what was supposed to be included with the sale. A detailed purchase agreement can avoid this issue and keep them from looking at you as being the cause of the issue from a poorly written contract. For example, are the appliances selling with the property? The water softener, the curtains? How about the fuel in the natural gas tanks being used for heat? I realize that most of your real estate deals in states such as Florida do not hit on the issue of gas as a significant heat source, but here is a story told by the instructor from my Indiana real estate course. The first home that she sold was in rural Indiana. The home was heated by natural gas and not piped in. Rather, the gas was fed from a tank connected to the property. It was the property owner's responsibility to keep it full for heat during the winter. The new buyers were young and had just enough money to complete the purchase. Well, when they moved into the house in sub-zero weather in the dead of winter, they discovered that the sellers had emptied every drop of gas from the gas tanks. The buyers had no heat and no money to fill the tanks. What the sellers had done was legal. The gas was personal property, and their agent, my instructor at the time, had failed to write into the contract a provision for the sellers to leave the gas. Having just learned a hard lesson, she used her first commission check to buy gas for the buyers to keep them warm.